Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hivemind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Joe Biden has officially thrown Black Lives Matter under the bus to such an extent, it's frankly shocking. I mean, they helped get him elected, they helped the Democrats get momentum throughout the entire election season, and when push comes to shove, Joe Biden continues to be the liar that he's always been. Now, the other day we covered an explosive leak where Joe Biden basically went off the handle and started raging at civil rights activists during a Zoom meeting in which Black Lives Matter was not invited, and they're still salty about it, posting on their Twitter and Instagram, counting down the days since they requested to have a meeting with Joe Biden. Well, we covered that specific part. Turns out the full Zoom call meeting has been released. And folks, it goes deeper than you might expect. Joe Biden causing absolute massive outrage from the far left by explicitly denouncing and going against the defund the police movement. Now, this is obviously a good thing because defunding the police is a ridiculous notion, but it's all about the public and private policy, pandering to the defund the police activist groups to get elected and then doing a complete 180 the moment he's elected. Joe Biden has policy proposals for the nomination process, then for the general election, and then completely different policies, probably the most drastic shift within the quote office of the president-elect, or the office of the assistant to the regional manager. And so I gotta show you guys this. The liberal outrage is supreme, beyond comprehension. They are losing their minds on Twitter. And so I'm going to show you guys that. We got to talk about Hunter. We got to talk about Ilhan Omar, a little bit of Elon Musk, a bunch of different stories which I think are related. But before we get into any of it, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. We are still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm. YouTube has completely hidden our channel from non-subscribed viewers, so you must be subscribed to the channel. Now with that out of the way, let's roll the tape. All right, friends. So I told you specifically that Joe Biden essentially promised that he has no intention of taking any executive action or pushing whatsoever anything close to defunding the police. In fact, his perspective is the logical one, which probably most people think, that police need more training and more funds, if anything, which makes sense. The only difference is that's not what he said to get elected. So check this out.
One of the things I'd be concerned about, just as was pointed out to me that you wanted me to be concerned, Derek, I think it was you said it, about, dealing with Vilsack as in terms of agriculture. Well, first of all, you can learn more about Vilsack's record, but my point is this. I don't think we should make that a big issue going into before January 5th when the election takes place down in Georgia. But I also don't think we should get too far ahead of ourselves on dealing with police reform in that, because they've already labeled us as being defund the police. Anything we put forward in terms of the organizational structure to change policing, which I promise you will occur, promise you. Just think to yourself and give me advice whether we should do that before January 5th, because that's how they beat the living hell out of us across the country, saying that we're talking about defunding the police. We're not.
Joe Biden is a liar, a chronic liar, and in my opinion, one of the most deceptive politicians in American history. And of course, we have receipts. What did he say during the election campaign during the early days when questioned by the progressive left wing?
Surplus military equipment for law enforcement. They don't need that. The last thing you need is an up-armored Humvee coming into a neighborhood. It's like the military invading. They don't know anybody. They become the enemy. They're supposed to be protecting these people. So my generic point is that...
Do we agree that we can redirect some of the funding?
Yes, absolutely.
Interesting. Not entirely surprising, however, but what's also not surprising is Joe not being the progressive deity that they were hoping for. What a surprise. Joe Biden didn't win the election. Joe Biden didn't win these states based on merit. He won by strategically lying to different voter groups, lying to the far left as if he had their best interest at hand, then immediately backstabbing them after they voted for him, lying to moderates as if he didn't plan on packing the court. He didn't want to defund the police. Oh yeah, that story that you heard about my son and his laptop, yeah, that's just Russian disinfo, and half the people didn't even know it. People who voted for Joe were misled, uninformed, or misinformed. That's how he won. Speaking of disingenuous policy, that's exactly what defund the police is. We've covered this before, but let's keep cementing the point. Defunding the police hurts the exact communities that the activism claims to be championing. Check this out.
As homicides soar in Seattle, spiking nearly 75% since last year, the city's considering easing punishments for some crimes under a so-called poverty defense.
Right now in Seattle, they have spiked. The crimes have spiked over 250, sometimes even 300%. Homicides have more than doubled. So Seattle politicians' solution is to just decriminalize crime. So hundreds of misdemeanors will no longer be considered crimes if you can display that you have a mental disorder, or if you can display that you have a drug abuse problem, or that it's a crime of poverty and you display that you have a need. Well, I feel the need to go to Nordstrom's and get some new suits, but we can't always get what we want. And unfortunately, that's what these people are doing. And that's why so many stores, so many businesses, so many residents are fleeing downtown Seattle because the laws right now are not being enforced.
And so the Biden backlash continues. You think it's just BLM that's going after Biden? Nope. It's also the squad. Throughout the entire campaign season, Joe Biden put on a smile, pretended to care, pretended to pander a little bit towards Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Beto O'Rourke. But where are they today? Kamala Harris pretended to be a progressive. They pretended, gave the illusion as if establishment cop Kamala was some sort of left-wing progressive type. But the moment the election's over, you haven't heard a peep. Wasn't Bernie Sanders supposed to be his labor secretary? Wasn't Elizabeth Warren supposed to be given some arbitrary position? Wasn't AOC supposed to be consulting Joe Biden over his climate proposals? Where are they? Where'd they go? Well, the lefties aren't exactly too happy about it. Ilhan Omar, progressives don't have a big enough seat at the table with the Biden team. Surprise, surprise, surprise to no one. What did you expect? How many times am I going to say the exact same thing? They're coming out all surprised as if, oh, we didn't expect this to happen. We only canvassed and campaigned for Joe Biden to get elected for the last 12 months. We thought for sure that he would respect that and include us at the roundtable. Of course not. You're not the one paying the bills. You're not the one funding his campaign and lining his wallet. So obviously, you're not exactly a priority for him. And so the rift further divides and angst between the two leftist segments continues to rise. And speaking of lefty outrage, and probably more specifically lefty outrage on Twitter, I told you guys Elon Musk was going to be part of this video. While it's not exactly a big part, we're probably going to be done in like 40 seconds. Elon Musk released this tweet early morning yesterday when you put he/him in your bio. And man, oh man, oh man, I urge you guys to read the comment section. Lefties on Twitter were not exactly happy with this meme. Let's just leave it at that. But let's get back onto Biden, specifically Hunter. Report: Hunter Biden's attorneys reject cooperating with Congress. GOP senator says Hunter Biden's lawyers are standing in the way of the investigation. And turns out there's a whole lot of claims out there that allegedly the DOJ is issuing criminal subpoenas towards people involved with the Hunter Biden scandal. That's essentially the word that's going on. It has not been verified just yet, but many credible sources are claiming that, so I'll have to follow up on that claim specifically. Let's just say this whole Hunter scandal isn't going anywhere soon. Chuck Grassley was just on the Senate floor saying for over a year, Senator Ron Johnson and I investigated the Biden family financial dealings. We found that they engage in potential criminal financial deals across the globe, including in China. Joe Biden famously said this:
My son has not made money in terms of this thing about, what are you talking about? China. I have not had, the only guy made money from China is this guy. He's the only one. Nobody else has made money from China.
But turns out that may have been a lie. And so this thing is not going away anytime soon. And if Joe Biden in fact does take office, it's basically going to follow him like his own shadow. But that's the video that I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. We are still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, hidden from non-subscribed viewers, so you must be subscribed to the channel. Now I got to get back to work because there's a whole lot of hypocrisy that must be exposed on a daily basis. So I'm going to get to that. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.